everybody? Wow. Okay, I know a lot of people have signed up for this and we're a little bit ahead of time. Oh, we're right on time now. So thank you all for being here on time.
So
I'm gonna give it a couple more minutes here for people to straggle on in here. And while we wait, hold on, let me send. Oh my God, now everybody's asking me what the link is. All right. Oh my God. Okay, so while we wait a little bit here, I'm just going to share how excited I am for what is going to be shared on tonight's call. This, I feel like, is something that, how do I put it? I don't know if anybody's ever had those moments where everything is just so clear. Like you know what your mission is, you know what you have to do next. The steps are literally laid out all right in front of me, and the people are just coming together. Like the synergies of it all. Hold on. There we go. Hello. The synergies of all the people coming into my life, it's, I don't know, there's got to be some divine intervention, that is at play here. Um, oh, if you are not on mute, please try to go on mute. A lot of people coming on here all unmuted. That's weird. My Zoom is broken. Okay, so I know we are all here to hear this amazing vision, and I do want to start by just sharing a little bit of story of something that I've actually never shared with anybody before, and I'm going to share this story because I want to start by being real, and coming from a space that even if you guys don't want to be a part of it, that you still get to know where my heart's at and a little bit of who I am. Um, so about how many years has it been? 14 years ago, I received a phone call from my aunt out of the blue. And she called and she was just, she was crying, she was bawling, and she just kept saying, "Your dad is gone, your dad is gone." And I remember, you know, I was I was kind of like a tough guy back in those days. It was my college days. And I just remember like breaking down super hard about that. And the story isn't just about, this, but it's about what happened afterwards. And I remember my family, everybody coming together. Like my dad's passing was actually a blessing because the family came together. But I remember at the funeral, at the wake, I have two stepbrothers and a stepsister. Um, and they were like out of control crying. Like they couldn't even hold themselves together. And I was still got this like facade of like, no, don't show people your emotions, hide it. And I was telling them not to do it. I was telling them to like hold it together. Like there's, so like still worried about my own image and stuff like that. And being like the oldest that was left kind of my siblings, I felt kind of a sense of I don't know, protecting their image too, that we all got to show up really strong. And we made it through the wake, we made it through the funeral. And when I got home, I remember my sister and I getting into the biggest fight that we've ever gotten into. She threw glass bottles, she threw plates at me. Um, and I was, we were in such a breakdown. My mom's house, we were just breaking everything. And like, because I was holding, and I realized now that because I was holding so much stuff in and not being authentic, that I couldn't find, a space for me to even like show grief. So what came out was like anger, my energy came out sideways. So, you know, later on, as I reflected back on it, I swore that I was just always going to be real, super real, and I would connect with everybody in a very real way. And it's never just about how is football, how's the weather, how's your job. Like it's always something deeper and beyond. And because I did relationships like that, I started to get really connected to what I would call truth. Okay. Truth is something that just cannot be denied. There is a level of love and a level of wanting to serve humanity that I was always able to see in people because, I made that declaration with myself that I would never be inauthentic again, that I would be real. And so fast forward to today. Now let's fast forward to 2 years ago. I moved to Vegas. And I've been in the real estate game for a while. Um, and I got connected to a really, really amazing vision. I read a book called Delivering Happiness. And this book was written by a man named Tony Hsieh, born in Taiwan, just like me. Had a very similar upbringing, just like me. And his vision of how he created community and his culture in his company and what he believed was the key to bringing happiness into the world. I deeply, deeply connected with that. For those of you guys that have been in my calls and been in the Legends community, been in my mastermind, that is always at the core. It's always about that. It's always about the relationships. It's always about the relationships. It's always about vision. It's always about being in service to one another. And so I deeply resonate with his story. Then I bought a building. Okay, we recently just closed on this 30-unit apartment building in Fremont, downtown Las Vegas. I got very connected to the story of what Tony was doing there. CEO of Zappos, Zappos headquarters, located literally 2 blocks away from the building that we bought. And I really dug into what he was doing here. What was his purpose? What did he want to create? And, and I felt very, very connected to this mission and this vision. For the past year and a half, maybe about a year and a half, I've been talking about Vegas. I've been talking about downtown Fremont. And for those of you guys that, have never been there, it's the Fremont experience. It's got that big zip line thing that goes across around that area. And before Tony in 2012, it was a place that you could not walk to because it was a dangerous neighborhood. Nothing good was really happening there besides where the Fremont experience was. And yeah, as I met more people started to share with me their experience of Tony and what he wanted to create. And I started Googling him. And when I Googled him, it's weird because the first page on Google was all about his death. He passed away before COVID, right around COVID time, 2020.
So we just said, hey, either one of them.
He had bought about $350 million of real estate, bought up everything in the downtown Fremont area in 2012. Today, that portfolio is probably worth somewhere around 750 million. When he passed, the community kind of broke apart. The real estate sat, and he didn't even leave a will. So everything went to probate. And here we are today where they got 3 years left to liquidate the entire portfolio. They've given some of the properties to a lot of the brokerages here in like locally. Like they didn't give it to Marcus Millichap. They didn't give it to Cushman Wakefield. They didn't give it to any of these massive brokerages. They gave it to the local people because they were seeking. I believe that they're looking for the right person or peoples to carry on this mission and this vision. So we made a play for one of their properties, and it's been challenging because they don't care about the price. They care more about the vision. Based on what I know, based on what's been shared with me by the due diligence attorneys, that they want us to win because we have the best vision, we have the best community, and I truly, truly feel that what we have here in this community and what we've been creating, that the Legends Equity Group, the Legends community, and myself are truly the people that are going to carry on this legacy. And so back to me searching about Tony on Google. If you look up Tony, it will be about his death. It'll be about his partying. It'll be about his drug addictions and all the things, right? I mean, bad news kind of travels, and bad news is what people focus on a lot more. So one of my missions is to change that on Google, right? Like carrying forth this legacy is not only to create great returns or a great opportunity in real estate, because that is there. This is a once in a lifetime real estate opportunity. And I'll speak into that a little bit later. But the vision and the mission is to carry forth what Tony wanted to see in the world. And that's less in the doing than in the being. Like, we got to bring it. So, Nick, if you can pull up our slides, I want to show something that I created. It's like the constitutions in which we are going to live by, how this community is going to work. So from that space, I invite you guys to connect to these things and see if, see if you feel it. See if you believe in this vision too. Go to the Nick, go to the slide where we show the Constitution. All right, so the Constitution, I matched it up from what I think is his, and also from our mastermind, our community. So integrity and community first. This is really upholding honesty, transparency, and all dealings while we build strong and while we nurture relationships and the community itself. And trust is at the foundation of all of this. And so in order to create this community, integrity and community first. Then we have impact and innovation. Impact and innovation is really our strive to make a meaningful difference. Okay, make a meaningful difference through really thought out investments and initiatives, and creating and embracing new technologies and really revolutionizing the real estate industry. This is not just a fund for profits first. A lot of our country, our investments, the way that people invest, is all profits first, right? This is where our world is the way it is because that's how we operate. It's very capitalistic. It's not always a win-win, even though we think that that's a great concept. We don't truly behave that way. So I created a bunch of 10 things that is the Constitution. So I'll send this out to everybody with what I wrote for the description that I also wrote with it. So if you're interested in this, we will be sending this out in an email. So for those of you guys that have registered, this is something that we're really pushing for. One of the ones I do want to share and highlight is education and continuous growth. This is at the core of like world improvement, world growth in a positive way. So let's go to the beginning, Nick, and then we'll come back. There is a disclaimer. Okay, first, here, I'm going to give you guys a couple seconds to read this. My securities attorney is always trying to take away all the fun. So here is the disclaimer. I am a visionary at heart, so sometimes I say things that just come to my mind, right? Like I was sharing in my story. It's very authentic. It's very real. MW Law. I'll talk about them in a little bit. Okay. Basically, it's your disclaimer. Let's go. Next. Next. So, no, well, I kind of already went into the vision. Let's go past this. Okay. Go to our strategy. Okay. So What we are creating is I believe it's a way in which the idea of win-win is literally manifested outwards for everyone to be able to play a role and be involved in. Um, and it comes in the form of funds and fund to funds. All right, this is not a new thing out there, but funds are at the very highest level of private equity and investments in our world. The four big funds out there: Vanguard, State Street, BlackRock, and Fidelity. These are four funds that basically run the world. 95% of 401ks, teacher pensions, and all of that all go into one of those four funds, and they control and dominate about 40%. They own 40% of all Fortune 500 companies out there. Okay, so this is just the reason why I personally believe that our world hasn't achieved peace or prosperity is because there are reasons why people not having clean water is still a win for somebody. There's a reason why curing cancer and things like that are not happening, because somehow keeping people with it and providing medication for it is a win for somebody, right? So it's like profit first. It isn't about making them wrong or going against them, but for me, it's about creating something that is going to inspire. I'm about inspiring. I think everyone inside wants to do good and wants to do, something that is impactful and legacy driven inside. Everybody wants that, but there's somebody needs to be innovative and challenge the status quo and just shift that direction a little bit. And before you know it, the new sexy and the new cool is always in the win-win. It's always in the best interest of humanity and people rather than profit first, because that is where all the profits come from. And I believe there's a way that we can achieve both. And I feel like I am teetering on the edge of something that is completely revolutionary in what we're creating. And it's not like it's a new idea. People always know that everyone is drawn to communities. We are all very tribally wired, right? That's why we want to be in groups. We want to belong to masterminds. We want to, we don't want to grow old and be alone. We are tribally wired. We are attracted to great communities. So hopefully the intention here is to create something that, a mass amount of people are moving together in sync, synergetically moving in the right direction and moving humanity in the right direction. That's how big this is. My ultimate mission is to end world poverty. That's my mission. This fund is a means to it. All right. And we have a strategy, and I want to share this strategy with you. And I want to invite you guys to feel it with your heart rather than with your mind on if this is something that is, that resonates with you. Okay, go next. Hey, Sylvius, what's up? It's so good. First of all, it's also really good to see everybody. There are a lot of names of people that I recognize here, people that came out of the woodworks from all over to support this and check out what I'm doing. So I'm eternally grateful for all of your support, your friendship, all my brothers and sisters that I feel is really family. You guys are here. And then there's a lot of new names that I don't recognize. And I'm really grateful for that too, that you would take the time out on a Wednesday night to come join us and listen to this. This is, I'm really grateful for that as well. So thank you, Lisa. It's so good to see you here. So for funds, right? Like, what is a fund and what does it do? Funds are typically, it raises a lot of money, then it goes out, and because it has all the money is always king, right? Money is always going to be king. If you have money, you're going to be able to get the best deals. If you have all the money up front, you will get more deals and get awarded more deals, and you will get the best purchase price. So some of you guys that are in real estate here, I think I recognize some names where people, you guys have done syndications. I've done syndications where we get a deal under contract and then we figure out how to raise the rest of the money. And then we ask for extension after extension after extension so that we can get this thing closed. We need to find somebody to sign on to the loan. Right, there's a lot of these moving parts for a deal to close, and typically you're trying to close it in like 90 days, 60 to 90 days. But if you're like me, this past year there's been a lot of struggles. It took us 11 months to close one deal. I feel bad for the seller. I feel bad for our investors a little bit that, they went on this crazy ride with me, but I'm also very grateful. I'm grateful for what I learned and the clarity of the vision that came to me and the people that are now in my space. I'm very grateful for that. But a fund solves that. For example, if you any one of you, if you think about a deal that you're selling, let's say you have a house, you have an apartment, you had, whatever it is that you're selling, would you rather me come to you and say, hey, I can get a loan on this thing, and I'll offer you, let's say it's a $10 million. I'll offer you, $10 million for your deal. And hopefully we can close it in 90 days. I got to go raise the capital after we get it under contract. And then I got to make sure there is contingencies on the loan. There's contingencies on a whole bunch of things. So, 90 days in, 60 days in, if we can't do it, we're just going to pull our money out. Okay. Like that. Sorry, we can't do it. Or if I came to you and said, I got all the money, we close in 25 days, give it to me for $8.5 million. Right. Like in the market today, especially today, the certainty to close speaks much louder than even your track record, right? And what you think you can do. The certainty to close will get you the better purchase price. Better purchase price automatically translates to now an extra $1.5 million to investors. So having this, why funds, is because of that. It's because you're in the position of power when you come into a negotiation. All right. And when you have a fund and money sitting there waiting, people will come to you with their deals instead of you having to underwrite deals and go out and do all this work. You sit there and you say, this is the money I have. I'm looking for deals. People will literally pay to sit in front of you and pitch you a deal. Okay. People buy lists, family office deals, big private equity groups. They buy lists of their contact informations just to be able to put a deal in front of them. So when you have a fund, deals come to you. You will have more deals than you know what to do with. You may even have to have people be your gatekeepers to look at deals. So you're in a position of power. You will always, I don't want to use that word, but more than likely, you will get the best purchase price out of the deal. All right, so that's why funds, and this is why funds dominate. Next slide, please. Okay, so our strategy, and if you get nothing out of today's call, I want you to understand this strategy here and why it's superior to everything else that's out there. Okay, I have secured a $500 million line of credit, and my intention is to use this cash to buy properties up front. Okay, and then we have a Swiss fund that comes in and recapitalizes our deals. This is just one example for when we build, when we develop. Okay, and everyone can be a part of this. Do you want to be, think about this, when you go to Brickell, Miami, when you go to Miami, you go to these big cities and you think about these massive class A sky rises and these class A buildings. When I say class A, I mean just beautiful, brand new buildings. And you're like, how can I ever afford something like this? How can I even get involved with something like this? All right, so what we're going to do is imagine there's a piece of land, a whole city block, $20 million, $30 million to buy. Our line of credit comes in, purchases it, all cash. We get a great deal on it. Then we go and do the entitlement for the land and the architect and all the drawings. Maybe it takes 5 months, 6 months. Okay. We get all that done. Then we have another fund that comes in and gives us 100% loan to cost, loan to value build. That means the entire first line of credit gets recapitalized. All the payments of architect and everything gets paid. And we pay once a year at the end of the year 10%. It's not a monthly. So the only capital that is needed is that interest rate of 10% of whatever we use. We go in, we build this massive class A property, 500 units, mixed use, stores downstairs, right? Just beautiful as we want it to be. And now it's ready. And if you could buy this thing at cost, how much money would you make? Right. So now, upon finish of this, Legends Fund comes in, our fund comes in and recapitalizes and buys this deal at cost. All right. So metaphorically, what we're saying here is if you were opening gas stations, if you had a gas station, but you also own the oil refinery and you set the price for the best type of asset exclusively to your gas station, you own the manufacturer and the stores or the gas station, right? You manufacture the gas, the oil, and you have a gas station. Think about how profitable that gas station would be. That gas station in this scenario is the Legends Equity Fund. The oil refinery is the first step in which we go and grab those properties. All right. And this is, access to this is once in a lifetime. Okay, nobody gets a $500 million line of credit. Nobody gets a fund that gives you 100% loan to cost, loan to value, construction costs. So our fund is going to get exclusive deals to these things. That's on the build side. Okay, now next slide. What we also can do is we can purchase. Cash is king. We're going to buy deals at a significant discount that is already operating. Okay, not only are we going to get it at a discount, all right, we're going to be getting, not only do we get a discount with our purchase, with our cash, but the market today, okay, for those of you guys that don't know, in commercial real estate, it's very short term, 3, 5, 7 years, 10 years at most. You get a commercial loan at a certain interest rate. Those people that bought in 2020, 2019 at a very low interest rate, their loans are coming due today, tomorrow, within the next 14 months. To the bank, according to the bank, they have lost anywhere from 20 to 40% of their valuation. They either can come in and just hand the properties back to the bank, or they're going to have to inject cash to do a refinance. It's not a very pretty situation, but that presents a really great opportunity for somebody that is going to have access to large capital like this. And every one of you guys, every single one of you guys, okay, I don't care if you are 17 years old. Nick is 17 years old. Everyone that is here listening to this right now, because you're listening, because you're here, you have the opportunity to have access to that level of capital. So we will be able to buy from the banks. We will be able to buy from distressed sellers at tremendous discounts. This is in the next 14 to 18 months on the real estate side, huge trillions of dollars of net worth is going to be transferred. And who's going to be a part of it? Right? In 2007, 2008, 2009, money changed hands. Billionaires are made during this time. Trillionaires, probably. There are probably trillionaires out there, but billionaires are definitely made during this kind of market. So by listening now, even if you know nothing about real estate, my goal is always, how do I bring everyone with me? Teaching, coaching, and mentoring is at the heart of my passion, is at the center of it. And we're gonna build something. We're creating something that is like a done for use from every angle. Okay, everything is like done for you. built for you. Um, so when we purchase properties, we have a loan also. So right now, one of our core competencies is that 500 million that we have up front. We have this construction loan. We also have relationship to international and Swiss funds that is coming in to invest in debt at 5% and under, or 3.75 to 5%, something like that. You can't get that for anyone looking at deals out there. If you're looking at single family all the way to apartments to storage, not one person is going to pick up a deal and get 5% interest rate on your debt. Okay. I mean, if you can, please let me know. Right. But I'm almost very certain that nobody's doing that. I just did that. We're still doing that. So this is a relationship that was built by a family office of 60 years. And, for me, I think about it like this. I think the United States has too much debt and has too much money out there. Everyone else holds American currency and all that. I don't know if the rates are going to come down. I'm not even going to attempt to guess it. But international money is coming into the States. Okay. They're going to undercut American uh, money. So you have your US based lenders, they're going to have less and less things, less and less loans. Now, if you don't know this, you are underwriting and buying deals like Ali said, 8.25%. You're trying to get deals at that. You're battling with everyone else doing the same thing. At 5%, we can buy deals that nobody else can buy. We have higher leverage. That means less down payment money. See how like money, debt, these are the things that is going to really set us apart. And how far apart? Hopefully as I'm sharing, you can see it's really, really far apart from anything else. And that's the opportunity that I'm going to show how everyone can really, really be a part of it. Okay, next. Okay, maybe you guys don't notice this, but for people that know me, I don't really do slides. I don't do slides that well. So following slides, I'll be jumping around back and forth. So, forgive me if I seem like I'm all over the place with my slides. I was literally before this, I was like, you know what? Let's just ditch the slides and give me my iPad and I'll just start drawing things. I feel like I do better. But slides, I guess, helps me land some of the points I really want to land. We have strategic partnerships. This is with our securities attorney, MW Law. Okay. I have the managing partner of this firm working and giving me attention and helping me through this whole process. Okay. We have like the best of the best on the security side. Okay. That's it's for safety, it's for compliance, it's to do things the right way. And that is going to be extended to every one of our partners, all the fund to funds. And I'll explain a little bit more what fund to funds is later. But just know that anyone that is getting involved is going to be protected or is going to have the opportunity to, use MW law. Actually, you will be, if you're going to be a part of what we're doing, you will be using MW law. All right. Yeah. They're really backing me up. So we also have Proxy Financial. We have the two founding partners of Proxy Financial is also here. But who's Proxy Financial? Proxy Financial is, they they act as basically the fiduciary team, for our entire process from the top to the bottom. Okay, that means what do? They keep you away, they keep us away from any pitfalls that we may not even know that we're going to step into, right? This is a game, and the SEC keeps everything very loose so that they can come and investigate you and all of that. That's stuff, those are types of stress that you don't even want to deal with. And that's what Proxy and MW Law deals with. They essentially create a shield around you. Okay. They will provide, okay, some of the competitive advantages that they're going to provide for us is literally game changing. This is what is going to actually set us apart. Besides the fact that we're going to come together and move in sync and like a gigantic army, what they are going to be offering is game changing. Never, never, never seen before, really, on what we're doing. Okay. Nobody's run it like this. They're going to also offer all of our, and when I say Legends members, I mean everyone in the community. Okay. Everyone in the community, everyone chooses that to be a part of this. They will run a financial fitness review for everyone. What that means is they're going to help you. They're going to look at your retirement plan. Then they're going to look at the tax savings plan, and then they're also going to help with succession planning. So these three things. I mean, I don't think most people don't even go through. I never even gone through it. I'm kind of just like learning it on my own. So creating those three things, we don't want to do what Tony Hsieh did, just leave this huge mess behind either. Right. So succession planning should start now. And as we get into this is all when you reference Legends, you're referring Legends members. Now I'm talking about anyone that is going to be joining in this in what we're doing here. Okay, so every fund to fund managers and members of that community. They're also registered investment advisors, RIA. Do we technically need it? Okay, not according to securities laws. We don't technically need an RIA, but we will, because we're going above and beyond to provide a peace of mind. Okay, money is one thing, peace of mind is a whole nother thing. Okay, I'm always, if for people that have listened to me talk on social media, I talk about peace. Peace is the thing that we're looking for. The reason why we're even investing, the reason why we take chances and take risks is so that hopefully I can find some happiness and peace. For myself, for my family, for people that I care about and that I love. They will do all the fun administrative work. That means the reporting, okay, the P&Ls, the distributions, all of that. And then they'll do the accreditations, right? So when we get to a certain point, you can only take accredited investors. We'll talk about what an accredited investor another time, but basically there are people that have a certain net worth, have certain licenses, right? I think what is it? It's your family, between you and your spouse, you have to have made 300,000. You have to make $300,000 a year for the last 2 years, or by yourself, you have to make 200,000 a year for the last 2 years, or you have a net worth of over $1 million. That's kind of like, accreditation, being accredited. I think that's where it's at right now. But the coolest thing that they are bringing to the table is this proprietary blockchain software. Blockchain it's not bitcoins, it's not it's not what most people think, like crypto. It's like, oh my god, we're doing crypto again. It is not crypto. Blockchain is designed at its core to keep contracts, to track every transaction that happens. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the blockchain in a little bit here, just to show you guys how this is going to provide and set the standards for the industry moving forward, with us pioneering the way. Okay, Proxy and us pioneering the way of really making this industry standard. That's one of my goals and one of my visions, is that everybody puts every transaction in deals on blockchain. Okay, so that every transaction is recorded, and it's recorded forever. What that does is it removes people's ability to commit fraud. Right? I mean, if you look in the news every single day, you look up multifamily, you look up real estate, somebody is committing fraud. It's because all there is to keep track of this is like bank ledgers and CRMs and QuickBooks, right? All things that are easily manipulated. Blockchain, nope, you cannot. You cannot just add zeros to things. You cannot take zeros away from things. You cannot remove transactions. Everything from the top to the bottom is going to be entirely recorded. All right, this is revolutionary in what we're doing here. Talk more about that in a second. Go next slide. So the structure, this is how we're gonna be creating for for you, how do you get involved, is oh, I wrote this. I believe we are on the brink of taking capitalism democracy to its purest form. Yes, I remember writing that. Okay, yeah. The everyone wins mentality becomes something tangible, right? Just based on the strategy that I shared earlier. If we focus on what Tony's vision was if every employee, if every employee, it's cool, Chris, don't worry about it. If every employee and if every customer was happy, if the focus, the core mission, the core values of the company was to do that, then happiness would be inevitable. And if more corporations came to see how this was done, then everybody will be operating from there. And this is how happiness spreads. What we're going to do in real estate is take that and we focus on every fund manager, we focus on every investor, and we focus on the community of people, okay, the people that is going to live and work in this place where we're putting real estate. We focus on their well-being. We focus on them getting a win. That's the focus. See, it's a very different come from them. What is the NOI and how much returns am I going to get? When that community is solid, when everybody is winning, money's going to come. The returns will be higher than others. Okay, I have so much evidence in my life in that. Like that, when I focus on helping other people win, I automatically win. And I win at a level that I couldn't even have fathomed before. All right. So I want this fund and what we're creating here to be remembered as the People's Fund. Okay. One day we're going to remember it's a People's Fund. Right now, everything is called private equity. Private equity, funds. It's just like, it's almost like an evil thing to some people, right? But I want it to be remembered as people's fund. Okay. Next. So, what is a fund of funds? This is just an example of what we're gonna do. Like typically, you have one choice of, I'm just gonna say like you have this example here. This Class A, Class B, Class C shares. Okay, this is just an example here. If somebody invested $100,000 with 20 and the project and the fund was returning 25% a year, which I don't think we will have, our projections, and based on our strategy like that, it will probably be greater than that. Okay, that's my projections of it. Class A would receive 12%. Pref equity means that you receive money before anyone else. So this is, kind of like people that are like, oh, I don't know about the deals. I just want my cash. I want cash day one. I want, I don't want to say guaranteed, but I want that preferred return. Okay. Class B is something in between. It's a 6% pref. And then you get the upside on a 60-40 split, 60 going to you, 40 going to our, fund managers, which is the general partners, the people that are in the main master fund, Legends Fund. And then you have your Class C, which will just be directly no pref, 80-20 split on that. And so an example here would be if you're Class A, you will receive 12% pref. That means you will receive 12% returns only. Okay. And the other 13% goes back to the fund, goes back to the general partners. And then your Class B would be 6% pref and then splitting 60-40, which is 11.4%. So your total returns will be 17.4. Your Class C are the people that are just truly believe in what the mission, what the strategy, what the vision is, and know that an 80-20 split will give them the highest returns on the back end because you want to participate in the upside. If the returns become 40, 50, 60, 80%, these numbers start to drastically be apart. All right. So this is just an example of what it will look like. But what we are projecting and planning to offer is that we offer people all three classes. You can put some of it in Class A, some of it in Class B, some of it in Class C. Okay. There's no like It's not a hurdle. It's not a certain amount of money you have to invest in order to get that. Okay. And yeah. All right. And what the fund to funds basically do is it feeds into the main fund. So I'm gonna show you guys a picture here in a second. Nick, can you just go to the last picture? Let me see what's next, actually. Yeah, this one. No, go back next. Yeah, go this one. So typically what it will look like, okay, if you guys are going to be involved, you guys would be members of the fund of funds. And you would find investors. We would create the fund to fund basically for you. We will show you, you will have the same, basically the same investment pitch deck, the same strategy, everything that I would tell my investors, you will be doing the same. If you're, when you bring your funds to our fund, and you would make a fee based off of the amount of money that you raise, not off of profits, not off of that, but off of the amount of money. So if you were to raise $1 million in the fund, 3% asset management means you will make $30,000 a year. And this just keeps going. Okay. Fund to funds is great because there's no pressure of like real timeline. You can keep this going. You can own this thing for 10 years, 20 years, and you just build your fund to fund to be massive. Okay. When it gets to 100 million, right? If it gets to 100 million, you're making $3 million a year and it'll just grow. But the main thing is that you now get to sit at the table with people that are at a whole different level because your conversation will be the same as the conversations that I would have. So basically, the fund to fund, we build it out, okay, for you. We build the pitch deck. We do a lot of these things that you get to participate on that we are already doing. Okay. And you can be compensated, or no, you can make money doing it. You can collect asset management fees. Okay, so I want to introduce both of the founders of Proxy at this time because they know my vision too, and they believe it, and they're in with me. I'm super honored and excited and grateful for this to be this partnership that we got. So CJ and Brian, if you guys want to come off mute and just share a little bit about what we've been talking about, right? Slides kind of confuse me a little bit, but I hope I'm articulating and sharing my vision in a way that you understand. And we are going to give, I believe in the Q&A time, we will really be able to make clarity of this, create clarity around it.
I wanted to fist bump you a couple of times as you're going through this. You're doing it. It's getting me excited, and we talk about it for a couple hours every day for the last couple of weeks at least. As I was thinking about this and going through it, I think there's two things that jump out at me that really make it clear why we're working together and why our companies are working together and our communities for that matter. And the first, you said both of them, and I kind of want to reiterate them because the returns here are great. They're some of the best we've seen, and we've worked in the private equity space helping individuals and companies strategize for a number of years. It's what founded our company half a decade ago. But there's two things that jump out at me that are unique to the community here that you're building, Alex. And I think the first one is.
Oops, hold on, you got muted.
You're all good. You're all good. So the first thing that jumps out at me is the way that you kind of elegantly said is that you're democratizing something that is usually very hands off for the majority of us. And a lot of what Proxy's mission is on a global scale and with our clients is being able to unlock and make sense of the things that people should be doing, but maybe don't feel like they have access to or can't do. And that's not right. I'm looking at 100 individuals right now that are intellectually capable of understanding really anything in our financial world and want to. And the fact that you're the first person to come across and bridge that gap and build that bridge to empower people to be able to do this and to be able to incorporate it into their life gets me excited as I dream about what we're creating as a company as well. And that brings me to the second thing, which is our main passion. If I'm honest, the way that we win clients as a company is through education and building trust. And I think the best way these days to actually add value to someone's life in the financial realm is through education, through helping people really understand and being empowered about what they're doing and why. And I like to say, Brian and I like to say a lot, what you're not doing and why you're not doing the other things, right? That gives you a whole different sense of empowerment when it comes to the financial aspect of your life. And I think it's kind of lost in our world today. It's crazy, but you're changing that. And the fact that there is a wellness aspect to that, to this community, and every member is going to be financially fit, and on an ongoing basis you're going to allow us to be with this community to help you think about the things that you should be thinking about and give you kind of a second brain, but a financial brain, so that you can keep focusing on the things that you're passionate about and drive your energy is everything to what we're creating, Brian and I at Proxy. So you allow us to be who we want to be, Alex, and I appreciate that very much. And we're looking forward to making this something that shakes things up a little bit in a good way, if I may say so.
In a good way, yeah. You know, and looking at this picture too, and thank you, CJ. And is Brian here too?
Yes, sir.
Oh, there he is. Hey, so do you want to
Good
share
evening.
any words of wisdom?
Yeah, absolutely. First and foremost, congratulations, Alex, for putting together this great event and for building such an incredible community. I was chatting on the side here with CJ and some folks at Proxy about just how energizing it is, right? And again, it goes back to the why, right? The why of this community is not we're smarter, we're going to make more cunning deals, we're going to crush the opposition. It's a true capitalism view, as you mentioned in the slide about a people's fund, right? And true capitalism is sustainable. It's a never-ending cycle, and wealth is spread. It's going to continue on forever. And at Proxy, our objective, like CJ said, I want to echo his words. We're here to empower people with knowledge. Knowledge makes better decisions. Wealth transfer from generation to generation, we see so many times, is not about being a billionaire, right? 3, 4 generations later, everybody's poor. It's about the transfer of knowledge and empowering that person to make better decisions.
Hmm. Yeah, thank you. You know, and I've been blessed. I've been blessed with so many mentors that have passed that on to me. And it's also up to me to meet others, right? Is to really come together and meet others that have this type of knowledge. That's why I'm not doing this alone. Like, I am not interested in climbing to the top of the mountain by myself. My wife always says to me, she's like, man, you just want to be around people all the time, right? I'm like, heck yeah, I always want to be around people. I love it. It energizes me. And everything that I got, I want to give over to people. I want to give it over because what am I going to do with all of it myself? You know, I want this to be something that is alive and it's a legacy for my kids and their kids 5 generations down, that this thing is still alive, that this thing is what we're creating here and you guys get to be a part of is going to be the catalyst to ending world poverty, that it doesn't exist anymore. And when I say world poverty, I'm not even just talking about, like, you know, the poverty itself. I'm talking about the mindset that everybody has, that the new norm becomes abundance in each one of our individuals' lives. It's not just about like, oh, some people, you know, people in third world countries get these things. That is going to come, but mindset comes first. All right. And what we got here is literally that manifested into something that is tangible and that we can all participate in. Nick, can you go to the next slide? So without Proxy, it's basically just like a fund to fund, right? It's just a fund to fund going in here, but without the direction. Like, what we're doing here is, you know, fund to funds is not new. People are doing it. If you guys ever follow Bridger Pennington, like, all of this, people are teaching it, people are doing it. But what you get is you get your fund and then you go off and do your own things. That means you still got to find a deal. You still got to vet the people. You still got to see if the deals work. And then now you literally are just giving up control of everything. Okay. Now, it's great if you can find the right place to deploy that money. But if you follow this vision of what we're doing and what is possible, there is so much profits and so much money to be made at the same time that we can impact communities in the world in such a great way. Like, I'm so passionate about this. I hope that, my excitement shines through here. Okay, I'm like super fired up about this. But with Proxy as our partners and with MW Law as our partners, what happens is every transaction from the real estate, from the fund side, all the way to the member, fund to funds, all the way to the investors, get all the all the good things, all the peace of mind that comes with it. Like I said earlier, this is going to elevate and change the standards in which investments happen. If you don't have blockchain showing every transaction, the SEC will probably at some point come and investigate you if you get bigger. You are always prone to get in trouble. Investors don't have a peace of mind. They're just building it all on trust. They're giving you money based on trust. Okay, because what are you going to do with the money? I don't know. There was a recent event in which all the investors thought they invested in a property, only to find out that operator took the money and went and bought something else and then lost it. Like that is possible when things are not tracked. I want to make sure that that is gone. Okay, the other thing that Proxy offers is this financial fitness. Like I was mentioning, the three things that everyone gets is your planning of your financial health now. Okay, how are you going to retire? How much money can you invest? What do you need to be doing to at least create the foundations for yourself? If you don't have good foundations, you will be compromised at some point and you will be tempted to commit fraud if you're in this space. So that's going to be taken care of. Okay, that fitness, you're going to get the education on that side. Second, your tax planning. People are paying and giving taxes away by the trillions in our country. I don't know if it's by the trillions. I made that number up. Zero studies on that. I just threw that number out there, but probably. Okay, just throwing it away because they don't know any better. And three, succession planning. Okay, when my dad passed away, literally no succession planning. Okay, the entire family is fighting over like literally nothing. My dad had like nothing, but the family is fighting over like nothing. There was no foundations, no people. There was nothing set aside for the funeral, right? There's no insurance for it. None of that was even in place. And think about that for each one of yourselves now. If you were just gone, what are you leaving behind for the people that you claim to love? Right? I actually have I have some kind of I was left with some kind of debt that my dad owed in Taiwan. Okay, so that's like attached to me now. I don't even know how to find that. I don't know what it is. So I'm actually probably going to have to deal with it when I get back to Taiwan this time around. But I mean, every family, literally, when people pass, it's like people fight about the freaking money, the house, all of this stuff because there's no succession planning. So that gets to be done. Now, it's not just done for us in the main fund. It's done for everybody in the fund of funds. And the extension, Proxy is also extending a heavy, heavy discount. It's like a $5,000, like $35,000 package extending to every investor for $1,500. Literally everyone from the investor all the way down to the fund manager of the main fund is going to get this. And they're going to have the peace of mind that every transaction from top all the way to the bottom is freaking is secured. This is lock right here. Okay. And this is it's insane. And they take care of the accreditation, the back all for all the fund to fund members. Okay, this is like nobody does this. As a part of our community, we are going above and beyond to be excellent. Okay, we are going to be excellent because this is how we're going to set the new standards. People in the future will say it's not a Legends fund, it's not with Proxy, it's not blockchain. We are not investing in this. It's too risky. Right now, it's like the Wild Wild West. People are like, oh, I'm investing this and that, and it's safe, but we don't really know. We're hoping. We just got our fingers crossed. We give somebody money. I got my fingers crossed. I'm investing in a bunch of deals. I just got my fingers crossed. Okay. And me as an operator, people that have invested in me, I do my best to communicate all the time. I know my level of integrity, but I don't know everyone else's. So let's create the new industry standard, and together we can do this. Now, how do you get involved? So what we're doing is actually, if you want to get involved, do we have that on here, Nick? Where'd that go?
The table.
No, not the table, but just like how to be involved.
That should be. I mean, we skipped a lot of slides.
Oh,
This one.
we did. Oh, right. So
Yeah, you sent me to the end of the presentation.
yeah, my bad. Okay, so being part of this, think about this like starting a business, right? Starting a business to be a part of this. It's $50K to join. What that gets is we have to set up fund to funds. Just that itself is going to be like $25,000. Okay, our security. I'm requiring this to come to us because I want our securities attorney to handle all of it for everyone. That way we can monitor and make sure everyone is following along. Okay. Your first year application and all of that is going to be handled as well. And pitches kind of taught to you, and you can kind of just put your logo on it. Okay, well, I'm not going to pitch for you, but at the same time, I am also not going to take any investors in our main fund under $1 million. That means any investors out there that want to invest in our fund will have to go through one of you guys. We'll have to go through one of the fund to funds. It can't go through me. Okay, unless they're going to give me $1 million, that's not happening. So that's all. I'm not going to compete with you guys. Okay, I want to make sure that everyone wins. There's also you're gonna be a part of this weekly strategy session, which is gonna tackle capital raising, how to raise the capital. Okay, pitch mastery.
Like you were saying the other day,
Securities.
It was 1,600 and
Securities compliance, fund structure, vision. Okay, the context of what we're doing. Okay, remembering the Constitution, right? Everyone should be trying to live that into their life. If you want to be a part of this, like you want to live into those constitutions. Okay, everyone's going to also be getting that discount and that plan to do your financial fitness, the retirement, the tax planning, the succession planning. There will be quarterly live events. This is all part of it. Okay, you're not going to be paying for a ticket to come to our live event. We will cover it for you. You're just going to have to pick. I mean, you're going to have to get your flight and your hotel, but those live events, okay, are gonna happen. And there is a lag time in how fast we can set up your fund. These funds are very tedious. There's PPMs, there's investment strategies, all this stuff that, if you're just coming off the street, coming onto this call, and you're like, what the heck is Alex talking about? Done for you, and you can literally be in a very you can learn this passively. You're learning the highest of the highest game at this. Okay, now, so December 10th is our first deadline. Okay, our first deadline is 15 people. Now, you can be a group. Okay, you can be like 4 or 5 people coming together to become a fund manager, and you guys work together to build up your fund to funds and being a part of what we're doing. What I would say, though, my caveat is don't take people just because they have money. Okay, you want to always think money is kind of like the least important thing. The most important thing is what else can they bring to the table? Know what your gap is and then fill that gap. Maybe your gap is like, I've never pitched and I've never talked to anyone, I've never raised any capital before. You may want to find somebody that has raised capital before. Okay, so that you can start to build up your fund to funds. You may want to bring somebody who's very analytical, okay, who can do a lot of the underwriting type of stuff for you guys. Not that you're going to have to really do a lot of underwriting, but just understanding it, right? Who's like organized, right? There's a lot of personality meshes. If I me and CJ joke about this because he's a visionary. I'm a visionary. If he and I are together, we would probably just get in. It would be a lot of fun, but we would just get in a whole bunch of trouble if we didn't have the right people around us. Right? Half the times, like things that I want to say, I'm like, nope, you can't say it. You can't do it. So I would pick, the right people, 3 or 4 people probably to come together and become this. All right. The first one is December 10th deadline. Okay. The earlier you get in the game, probably the sooner you will be able to join those weekly calls, which I promise you will be better. Oh shit. I promise, huh? I intend and I think it is going to be way better than any mentorship educational program out there. Yep, I said it. But I said it. I said I intend it to be. Okay. And I think that it's going to be because of what is going to be offered. And you're going to be playing at a freaking crazy high level. All right. When you sit down at the table with a billionaire, you're going to be talking about a 500 unit multifamily. You're going to be talking about the portfolio in which you wouldn't never be able to leverage before. The game of life is a game of leverage. The game of financial freedom is a game of leverage. You have to leverage other people's skills. You have to leverage track records. You got to leverage capital, money, time, energy. You're always leveraging. All right, if you buy any house out there, you're going to leverage debt from the banks. All right, the other thing too that I did want to bring up before I forget is I have some amazing partners. All right, so I think Chris is here. You can say what's up, Chris Craze, Chris Mullins.
What's up, guys? Chris Craze here. You can hear me good, loud and clear.
Master marketer over there. Four times double comma click funnels.
Happy to be a part of the team, and I can tell you that the guys, this vision and kind of where we're headed with this, there's nothing like this. And the Bridger Pennington thing. I mean, there's things that are out there, but it's not. This is the setup for success. I'll leave it at that for sure.
Yeah, and Chris is like my right-hand person. See, he fills a gap for me. Okay, he fills a gap for me, and that's why we work really well together. I have Ryan Steinolson's also here too. He fills a gap for me. He fills a gap for me. Ryan, if you're here, you can say what's up. You're super excited, so I want to acknowledge you too.
Definitely very excited. I've just been impressed, and I said it on our last call with the legends of I knew who you were from things that we've done in the past. The Ogden deal, the marathon deal showed me an even deeper level of who you are and how much trust I can have in you. So I'm in.
Yeah, thank you. JD, I think JD might be here too. JD, you here?
I think he had to drop.
Okay, JD's gone, but very talented, smart guy, of course. Kurt Walker, go ahead, brother. So Kurt is somebody that understands community building, the importance of it, just as much as I do, and he is literally like another me, and I'm like, oh my god, there's another me. He's mainly in the venture side, but he understands the importance of real estate. He understands investments, and above all, he's just a community builder. He's always about giving and sharing, and he understands that. So Kurt.
Thank you very much. We're really excited, guys, about what we consider this to be like a triple threat play, with the foundation of tried and true real estate. We're very excited. I spent a decent amount of time with Tony, had a lot of exposure to the downtown project during the years that it was running. I think Vegas is the finest city in the world to live in. There's not a better city to be building venture and to be part of building an ecosystem. We are literally building our own ecosystem here as a community and as a team. And I just could not be more excited about all of the opportunities, the connection, just the events. We currently, guys, one thing I'll say is a lot of this sounds like it's new, but the reality is most of this stuff we are already doing. We are already doing it, and we've been doing it for quite some time. So, we're really excited to be rolling this out. And I've been in Vegas for 12 years. And so this has been a very long time coming. So many meetings, so much time spent downtown. So many events. We've done hundreds of events in Vegas alone for founders and for funders, whether you're doing real estate, whether you're doing acquisitions, or whether you're doing venture and startups. So we're very excited to work with you guys.
Yeah. Yeah, Kurt is amazing. What a really good guy to know. Super connector too. Okay, one of the best ways that you can be of value to people is to be a super connector. I think is Jacqueline. Are you here, Jacqueline?
She had to drop. She just left
Oh,
2 minutes ago.
geez. Okay, well, all of this kind of came about after Jacqueline and I became friends. Like it's just you're one person away and one decision away from really changing your life completely to another whole nother level. But I do see Ernesto here. Ernesto,
Hey, what's going on, man?
hey, what's up? How you doing with your push-ups, by the way?
Oh man, you better get back in the gym, man. After this, you better just drop and give me 100 just in case, you know.
Yeah. Ernesto's another really, really amazing guy. We're going to be doing a lot of things together for sure. All right, Rick, thanks for being here. And then shout out to all my Legends community and the Purple Eagle tribe and all the people that have just been such a great support in my life. One of my dear brothers means a lot. I see his name here, Michael DeSanti. I wouldn't be in the relationship that I am today, as loving of a relationship as I have today with my wife, if it wasn't for his, being just so inspired by him and showing me along the way. Yeah. Okay. So let me go to the next slide. I want to just go to the very end and I want to open up for Q&A. So this is what it looks like with proxy. I want to just kind of walk you guys through the levels. At the very top, you have investors that are coming in, investing into fund of funds, your fund of funds that is investing into. At the very bottom, you see there's real estate funds on the left side. There's going to be a lot of different real estate funds. The first one that we're talking about right now is this Tony Hsieh Legacy Fund. We're targeting and we're estimating this is going to be a $200 million fund. We will also, this is what Kurt was saying about the triple threat. We will have the debt fund. Debt fund is we will have one on real estate and one on the business venture side. This fund will just continue to grow. It's an evergreen, ongoing fund. So you're going to get an opportunity to build a second fund, like your second store, and then you can invest into that fund. And then the venture side is where we will roll up businesses, sell it to other private equity. We will be creating like a university, right, in which we will have, and this is going to be more on Kurt's wheelhouse. We will put people through incubators and programs in which they will, really learn how to take startup companies and exit really big. Right, he knows a lot of people in that space, so we're going to put together a very big plan. We will be funding those types of companies as well. So those, you will see returns on the venture side that you can't find anywhere else. I got a friend that invested $50,000 into was that Instacart and ended up exiting with $11 million. I mean, where do you invest $50,000 and exit with $11 million? That's what's available in that type of venture fund. So we got this. This is what we call it a triple threat. And we're going to grow. And this is how big this is going to grow. I believe that each one of these funds will just get bigger and bigger and bigger. So as you think about our first fund being projected as like a $200 million fund, what will fund 20 be? What will fund 31 be? And my ultimate goal is that every single person out there doing multifamily and big deals will come under the Legends Equity Fund umbrella, okay, and do deals this way, okay, our goal is to raise the standards, okay, of how people invest into deals. Like I said earlier, investors and people in the future will say, wow, you're not one of the Legends funds, you're not with Proxy, this is a brand that we're building. Okay, this is not done anywhere. This is not like, Fidelity, Vanguard, and BlackRock that's just like isolated. They do their own things. They don't really want you involved. You can invest money, but don't be involved. We're democratizing this whole thing. Private equity getting democratized. And we will be, think about what we can do. 100,000. This is my first milestone is 100,000 fund to fund managers. Okay. All going through the same educational system, all having the same financial fitness education, okay, all doing the same thing that we are doing on the main master fund, okay, and above that, each of those 100,000 members are probably talking to 100 to 1,000 people. And when they invest into the deals, they now get the financial fitness. They now get the Legends the brand of Legends. All right. And what ends up happening is, what do you think we can't do if we had a community that size moving together as one? What couldn't be accomplished in the world? Right? I mean, my mind is as I think about more people, I think about, each one of you that's here, just the 90 people that's on this call right now, like what type of impact, if we roll together, we can make in the world. Right? If we just focused in together to what we're doing. Okay, bring all of your skills, bring your resources, bring your ideas. Everybody's voice is going to matter, and we are going to create a way of this happening. Now, this is a great vision. This is me and a couple people really coming together and forming this vision. But with every single person that says yes to this vision is going to grow. And I believe that the vision is not complete until every single person on our planet has been touched and is sharing their vision, whether they share it with us or just have the courage to share with the world. Okay, a piece of the final vision of what this Legends Equity Fund looks like is within every one of you and everyone on the planet. That's how big I believe this is going to get. And I hope, and I've invited you guys specifically to this. You guys have said yes and are interested in it. You guys are at the ground floor of what we're building here. And I can't wait. I can't wait till when we look back. I can't wait to have our quarterly events where we get to celebrate each other and we get to say, oh my God, wow, I can't believe we're on Fund 15 already. I can't believe we have venture fund this. And everyone is coming to us to bring their deals because they know that certainty of deal closing, certainty of transparency and integrity is all inside what we've created here. All right. So with Proxy, with the MW Law, with other partners that we're going to bring on board, we're engaging, the top CPA firms. We're engaging really, really, really big players to help us. I have a meeting with a multi-billionaire within the next 40 minutes. So I want to take about 10 minutes here to answer Q&A, and you guys have received a text message for this call here. You can respond to that text message if you want to reach me. All right. And I hope you guys do. I hope we become, I hope you guys want to join this, or you're open and you're asking the question, how do I be a part of this? And that some part of this vision touches you. You will be, what I believe this fund is capable of doing is drastically impacting not only your life, but the people around you. Okay, everyone's going to win. Remember, I shared the strategy earlier. That strategy, all that, buying Class A assets at cost, all goes up to what investors are going to make and what you will make and what everybody will make. And when everybody is eating, we can really focus on the wellness of the communities in which we are doing real estate and business in. So that's it. That's my spiel. That's my pitch. Thank you guys for all of your patience. And let's take some questions. You should just raise your hand. Okay, there's way too many things in the chat that for me to go. So, okay, so 50K jointly, it would be 3 or 4 of you guys coming together, forming an LLC and becoming fund-to-fund managers. And we put all of that in place for you and, set you up to win. It's not you think, what?
So Alex, Allie, and a few others have kind of asked the same question. She said, if an investor invests 1 million into a fund, how exactly do the returns work on that? Tax advantages? I may have missed that. There's a couple of people that have asked that.
Yeah, so same thing as if you would buy, and a lot of this is going to be in our like the educational part of it, not this call specifically, but what happens essentially is when people are investing into the deals, the same tax and I'm not a CPA, so okay, when we bring a CPA on, they will be able to answer this question better. But you will be able to also participate in the depreciation that the property will have and the tax incentives that real estate gives. Oops, where'd you guys go? All right. What else? So if somebody brings $1 million, you now will be entitled to 3% of that as your management fee per year. And then you just drop it into one of our funds. You will choose, right? The Legends Equity Fund itself will just become a marketplace that shares and it builds the brand. And we will build this brand together. And we will talk about the track records. We will talk about what funds are available, because this Tony Hsieh Legacy Fund will close. Okay, that means you will not be able to put money in here anymore. But another fund will open. Okay, or you can choose to put some in the put in the debt fund. Okay, debt fund. Think about debt fund. I'm going to explain debt fund to you guys. You raise $100 million. Okay, this is really arbitrage. You raise $100 million. You leverage it up to $500 million at 3.5%, 5% interest rate. When you lend it out, you're lending it out. What do private debt go for? Okay, when you're asking for a hard money loan or a private debt, what are those things going for? They're going for 10, 11, 12, 13, up to like 20%. I've heard insanity amounts of like people paying 30%, okay, on that type of debt. No, there's not a 50K annual fee. It is just a one-time 50K fee. And okay, there is a possibility, if you think about buying a syndication, some of you guys know, there is costs to set it up. You have your appraisal fee, or to get the deal together. You have your appraisal fee, you have your inspections, you have your marketing, you have, whatever fees you pay, you will be able to raise that back out as part of, from your investors. You have a fixed amount of money, which is this, in this example, could be your $50,000 that is fixed, that when you raise $1 million, I'm going to say like we want to set it at a threshold. You don't want to raise 100K and take 50K out of there. But when you raise $1 million, there is a way in which you can say, okay, that was part of my, it was my legal fees, it was my marketing fees, and all this education that we're giving you guys is going to be free. Okay, we're it's not going to cost money, but your setup fee, your access to the fund, all those things are, are fixed fees that you can raise back out. So fund managers, you will make money on AUM. Okay, now I'm going to just talk a little bit about maybe further down the road too. So AUM is asset under management. If you have $100 million, you're collecting 3% a year. That's what you're collecting, $30,000 a year. You do 2, now you're at 60. So it's a business that you're building. Okay, and you're building it into the best strategy that is available out there. Best way to buy real estate, exclusive Class A deals that is going to be built and bought at cost. If anybody's going to be investing into real estate, you should believe that they would want to invest in here with you. All right, so that's that. The reason I asked you is I have a close friend who's looking to put, yeah. So, all right, Margie, thank you. 1 to 1.25. I mean, I don't know. We're not going to have a deal closed probably by the end of the year. We might have one, but I'll let you know. Can the funds invest outside of Legends deal? You can eventually, I think, but what we want to do right now is you want to be a part of what we're doing here. We can set it up. Obviously, in your investment thesis, you will say we will invest into real estate deals. So you can technically, take this and go put it into another deal. Okay, but then you kind of fall out of our whole system here, which is what creates the security, the peace of mind, the integrity, the transparency, all of that. Right? I mean, you're going to learn a whole bunch of things. Okay, whether you put it into our funds or out, like this is going to be, the educational side of it will be big. Yeah. So I actually connected Allie to Hawk already. Okay. Any other questions? I mean, feel free to just unmute and ask your questions too. Already getting people texting me. How can I be a part of this? Okay. So we will probably have another follow-up call that is more in depth of how that works. But December 10th is the first group, and be the first 15 people. All right. Or first 15 groups. Can you take the slide down so we can see everyone? Okay, yeah. Let me stop share. Hello, everybody. It's just a bunch of names and pictures. McGenna, go ahead.
Hello.
Hello.
Do you guys see me? Oh, there you go. Here I am.
There you are.
This is amazing. Congratulations on the vision and on the generosity to share with all of us. Good to see Kurt and Chris, the general, is in the house. I mean, I feel so safe right now. I've never felt safer. So, Ryan, watch out. I have a question. When you say there is a 50K entry fee, that's not per person, that's per fund.
Per fund.
Okay. That's one question that I had. And these fund creators or the fund to fund creators don't necessarily need to be accredited investors.
Yes. No, they're not, but their investors has to be accredited.
Interesting.
Yes. So basically one, I'm not going to say it's a loop, but if you are not accredited, I would step into this realm because this will be the fastest way that you do become accredited. You're going to learn a whole bunch of things. Yeah.
And how many funds to funds are you envisioning?
100,000.
100,000 long term, and the big
long
fund
term millions,
and then love it, and then I heard you say that there is this the Tony fund. You said once that's complete, you can be in other funds. Does it mean that there is a cap amount wise? Like what's that cap?
Somewhere around 200 million.
So 200 million. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, there very well likely will be a Tony Hsieh legacy fund too. Okay, because we really have like 1 to 2 years to raise that money, right? And then we have to deploy everything really by the 3rd year so that we can keep this fund going. Because the fund will have to close at some point. There's a close date, so it's probably like 10 years in, the fund will close, and it will be recapitalized by another fund, or it needs to liquidate all of its assets.
Wow, this is amazing. Thank you. This is awesome. Lot of things to learn, but for sure.
A lot to learn. And when you guys get into it, it's kind of like learning multifamily and then thinking about buying a single family again. When you start to get into this, you're going to be like, multifamily syndications. Like, what are you guys even doing? Right. And I said it to my team. I said it to our group. I'm like, this deal that we just closed is the last syndication we will be doing. That's it. Because now we are going to come with big money in the bank.
So I'm taking over. Well, I'm not sorry that I'm taking over the call. Hola, Lisa. 2 minutos más, mi amor. Let's say we have all these funds to funds and we have these LLCs, and then there is this real estate deal development, so on and so forth. Who controls the main fund and who does the underwrite? For example, if I come to you and say, Alex, I have a $20 million deal. Can we use the money from the fund? Like, who makes the ultimate decision that even though I'm raising for my fund, Lisa is raising for her fund? Like, how is that structured?
So a fund can go into a deal, either own it all or has to be a JV. Okay. A fund has to have a title on the property, has to be on the deed. Okay. So this is like very in-depth, like deep level conversation, but a fund is going to be able to, purchase properties. And think about this. If you have $200 million in your fund, do you not think you will have the best underwriter that money can even have? You will have the number one underwriter that is available, right? So when people bring deals, like, we will be able to seek out and find out who's got the best deal. The due diligence team will be on a whole nother level. It will not be somebody that just learned it. It will not be me. It will be somebody in the game for 20 freaking years. And that's what's going to happen. You know, we are going to, having a fund like that gives you the ability to be the best of the best and attract the best of the best. And that's why I hope everyone says yes and becomes a part of it. At least figures out, how do I become a part of it? Like, begin to ask that question. Because this is game changing. Every day I'm like, oh my God, this is game changing. I get really nervous sometimes. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm so glad I have great partners. I'm so glad I have Proxy watching my back. I'm so glad I have MW Law watching my back, my CPA. Like, every one of you guys needs that. By extension, all my resources are yours. By being a part of this fund, access to the capital and all resources are yours. That peace of mind is invaluable of what you're going to have. You running a deal, you're like, oh man, they're doing the distributions, they're doing the management, they're doing all of this stuff. Wow, man, I can just sit here and I can paint, I can sing, I can dance, I can do the things that I love to do. Right? So, you know, it's about time, it's about freedom, and it's about learning that way.
Hanging out with Course in Miracles 24/7.
Yeah. Okay, so we're gonna go on to Lisa, then we're gonna go to Hawk, then we're gonna go to Roberto, and then I really only have like at max 10 minutes to be able to answer the rest.
Okay, I am going to be fast, and Alex is amazing. That this is blowing my mind. Is amazing, but I don't know if maybe this question will be answered later with more sessions, but I want to know if you have a minimum of money for the funds. How much is the minimum that the fund has to raise? Or
there's no minimum.
You don't have?
No minimum. So here's the thing. You're going to want to set a minimum of 50,000 for what investors bring in. Because, you know, I mean, from accredited investors, you probably want to set that, right?
Okay.
You know, onboarding too. Oh my God, like Proxy will help you and handle the onboarding for you guys. Right? Like, that's a pain in the freaking ass to onboard, especially if you now got to find, oh, are they accredited? Do they have this accreditation? How do they get it? And like, that's a pain in the butt. If you had 100 investors and you got to onboard 100 people, like, that's a full-time job right there. You don't need that. Right? So like, think about what this think about it like a business that you're starting.
Alex, can I say something real quick?
Who that? Oh, hey, Kurt.
Yeah, this is Kurt. Hey, everybody. Just so you guys understand how big the support is behind this, like, managing investors is not a small thing. Like, those conversations, having to manage them without the support that we're talking about, it's kind of a full-time job. You know, the communication, the updates, the confidence, the backup, the transparency, it is a tremendous amount of work, even just coming from like the private equity side of things I've done, the real estate side of things I've done, and the venture side of things I've done. It's really substantial. So this allows you guys to focus far more on the parts of the business you actually want to be building and really stepping into being an investor versus all the management, all the admin, all the back end relationshiping that you have to do.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, that's amazing. The other question, sorry, Alex, because you only give me like a few minutes and I want to.
By all means, go.
Okay, and the other question is, if I have a fund, can I invest, that fund can invest in the real estate and in the venture side at the same time, or I have to have different funds, one for real estate and one for venture? Oh, okay.
Yes. So now you will set up two, you know, and that's just like, oh, I got another business, right? And it's like a business that is kind of built and done for you, and you handle all that. It's not that much extra.
And that's not us being difficult. That's for your protection, and that's the way the SEC has to have it.
Okay,
no choice in the matter. Just want to be clear.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's good to know. Now I am thinking what I am going to sell to keep having funds, but thank you. Amazing.
Awesome. Yeah, and you're great. So like, you know, you already know a lot of people in the community. Like, who do you want to work with, right? Who have you been like, I want to partner with on something amazing? You know, like, I've always wanted to partner with McGenna. You know, she's just, I feel like she's too like cool for me. So, but
that's right. I am too cool for you.
Yeah,
you got that right. I hang out with Mike.
I think everybody's like, who can we partner with McGenna? And she's so like mysterious, like.
Oh, stop it. That is far from the truth. I'm the least mysterious person.
I'm kidding. Okay. Yeah. So
I love it, Karen. The Wire. I love it.
All right, Lisa. Hawk, what's up, man? You're muted.
Hey, no, so Alex, man, so I'm in the iconic Shelley's Lounge in DC, Washington, DC, my hometown. So I wanted to address a few things. So like for uh funds, right? Funds are safe because you have a lot of syndications that happen and you syndicate for a deal and GP teams, they steal your investors. So if you have your investors in a fund that protects you, right, from other GPs stealing your investors. Also, with this fund, with Legend Equity Fund, you're under an umbrella, right, where the deals are vetted, but also you can set the investor criteria that you can say, okay, well, we're gonna have certain thresholds, right? AR, IR, cash on cash, equity multiples, right? And that you match that investor criteria with your investors, right? So I would advise everyone, right, to start a fund. But the thing what Alex said that's critical was to find people that can manage the fund with you if you want to do deals with.
Yeah.
Right. That's the main key. Right. So it's a really important, like you guys, if you want to get into real estate investing, funds are amazing. Right. You can set up funds. You can structure it a way where you can have multifamily, venture capital, debt funds. There's a certain amount of funds you can do with the SEC regulations. But the thing is, you want to make sure you have people you trust and you want to work with. So
Yeah.
I have a whole list of people I want to work with, and we're going to get this thing going.
Yeah, I promise you this: when you sit down at the table with 100 millionaire, with a 500 million, whoever you can think of as the highest person net worth that you can sit down at the table with, they won't be able to have access to the deals like this. They don't have access to this type of debt. They don't have $500 million sitting in the bank. Okay, so that itself is going to put you at a whole nother level when you are talking to somebody. So if you don't think you can raise capital, be a part of this and you will see. Right? You will see what's coming.
And Alex, and Alex, let's talk about it like this. Like, so, all right, so you say, okay, you have like capital investments, right? Where you have like stock, the stock capital, you have, different private equity investments. You can say, okay, I have, an investment that has, let's say, 2 to 5 years, 3x or 2 to 3x your money, right? And you can have the confidence that the deals that you are under the umbrella of Legend Equity Fund, right, will bring you those deals and they're vetted, right? And the thing is, you don't have to find deals anymore, right? You don't have to go to the brokers to find deals. You know that the team that's behind the Legend Equity Fund is going to actually find those deals, find the right thresholds, find the right returns, and then your money in that fund, right, with your investors, is safe coming into a fund where you can immediately fund these deals and then get returns.
Yeah,
right?
and
It's amazing.
I'll add one more thing too. One of the challenges of being able to raise large capital is that you have to find a place to deploy it. Okay, so one of our strategies, I'm gonna go next year. We're gonna go on an entire freaking campaign. We're gonna start the Great American Pitch Off, both on the venture and the real estate side. I'm gonna find the top real estate conferences. I'm gonna say, hey, your VIP client, your VIP students. Okay, we're gonna do a half day where your VIP a guest that comes to your conference will get to sit down and pitch their deals, and we will fund somebody. Okay, and you get to come on, whoever's the host, you get to come on stage and you get to be on the panel with us. Right? We're going to draw massive amounts of people. The best deals are going to be presented in front of us. When you have money, you can make these types of things happen. So be a part of that. Get on that train. Right? The other thing is what people are worried about too is what happens when the money's sitting in there. It's called dry powder. Right? Proxy has a way in which they do it, and they return almost 6%. Okay, they last year returned somewhere around that amount a year on the money. That is $100 million can sit there and earn $6 million a year. Okay, money will be working. We're not just going to let it sit in the bank and let it depreciate. We will make sure that no money sits still and not makes money. Okay, so minimum, we're going to be getting returns on that.
Alex, I know you have to leave soon, but that is so true because some of my connections from the family office money side have this exact same request. I send them sometimes deals that are in the 7 millions. Again, it's too small. I can't write you. I need to write you a 10 or a 30 or a $50 million check. And I'm like, wow, that's a great problem to have. So when you have funds like this, we are seen, we are seen as more credible because, as Paul Hutchinson said yesterday on one of the on Zoom with Team I, you want to make it a point to build teams who are credible. And this is why it's very important to keep that in mind, that even if you're someone who just started, having around you or being surrounded by people who have done this for a long time, they'll lift you up. So you are in a fast track of raising capital because you have an entire team backing you up through that experience. For anyone out here who's like, well, who's going to give me 50? Well, if you present the funds from this light, everybody would want to park their money and make it work in these serious funds, because it's an army of people. So thank you.
Thank you. So I'm going to take Roberto's question last, then I got to go. But I do want to say one thing that CJ just brought up was like, hey, during that whole process of us like seeking for deals too, just like having a lot of fun doing it, you know what we're going to do? We'll have our fund to fund managers. Also, we'll send it out and you guys like vote on it. We'll have a lot of fun along the way. Okay. So that you guys are going to learn, like, it's all about the education. It's all about being a part of a community that gives you the opportunity to grow inside it. And think about every single one of those funds that are going to be created. They will need CEOs, CFOs, CIOs, COOs. Those are all 6-figure paying jobs. You do a great job on the fund of funds. Like, you will be somebody, we will be looking for talent to come in and run these big funds. I will not be running all of these funds. I will sit at most as an advisor, okay, on some of these funds that are going to be created. But we need to find talent. I need to replace myself 100 times. That's what I'm doing. That's what we're committed to doing here. All right. So Roberto, last question. Then I really got to run. I can't be late for this meeting.
All right. I'm going to try to make it quick. So having different investment classes, right? How do you determine, or how do you explain to the investor what they're getting into, right? What would I give you my money without knowing what you're buying?
Yeah.
Where's my money going?
Look at the pitch deck. So we will be helping with creating that pitch deck. Here's the strategy. Just think about what I just said. Do you want to you own a gas station and you own the oil refinery too. You own the manufacturing of where the product comes from at cost. That means you now will be the gas station that has the best product that you got at the lowest cost. That means your margin's much bigger. All of your investors are going to make way more money. Just that in itself is like, okay, well, where are you going to buy? I don't know, anywhere. But we obviously have a strategy of where we're going first, and we're committed to making this happen. Where else? This is the reason why this fund is a once in a lifetime, not just the structure of it, but where do you get to buy and do something with an entire freaking city in the most well-known city in the world? Princes of Saudi Arabia and whatever, they spend trillions of dollars building a city in the freaking desert out of nowhere, and they built Dubai, right? We're building something inside Las Vegas, basically like another Dubai, and we get access to, we have the opportunity to buy everything in the downtown area. We build, we create the community. Who can do that? And I don't think anybody else is doing what we're doing and has a community like this. That's it. Has a vision of just bringing the entire community. I don't know if anybody else is doing it, but I certainly have not seen it. Okay. Or I would be there. And the people that I brought on to partner with me have very similar mindsets to serve and understands what the opportunity is. Okay. I am not drawing founding partners of this, of Proxy Financial because I got some silly idea. I am not having the managing partner of a big securities firm handle this personally because I have a funny, simple, silly idea. Okay. So this is what you guys are going to get access to and be a part of. I really, really hope that like my text message box gets filled and that we are just going to take this thing and launch. My goal is to raise $100 million with this group, with people that are interested in the next 4 months. We have another 100 million coming from one person already. But okay, wait. Am I even okay? Wait. Let's just rewind that. I digress. But I really have to go. You guys have all been amazing. Reach out to me with questions. Okay, you can respond to the email or the text message, and you can all reach me right there on my cell phone. Okay, so listen, I'm so grateful for everybody. Thank you guys for being here. We went like an hour and a half plus, but it's thank you. I hope you guys feel the passion, feel the this is the right thing to do. Here we come. We're on the verge, we're on the edge of something really, really great. All right. Yes, reach out to me on social. I'm all over social. Wherever you want to reach me, I will be checking my phone. I'm sure I will be pretty busy with this for the next 10 years of my life. So, this is all I'm focused on. There's no diversions doing anything else. Okay. Not going into the oil business. Maybe, I don't know. Our funds might extend. I don't know. But all the opportunities will come. Right? You guys will be anything that you were looking for and you ever want is in the hands of someone else. And here it is. We have this great opportunity. Say yes, be yes to it. And I will see you guys later, hopefully soon. Take care, everybody. Much blessings.